Love this podcast? Support this show through the Acast supporter feature. It's up to you how much you give, and there's no regular commitment. Just hit the link in the show description to support now.
Welcome to the Apollo Audio Podcast.
Hello.
Here we are again. Martin Lumsden, that sounded like I didn't care. Here we are again. I'm Martin Lumsden, producer and engineer. And I'm, not as always, but virtually as always.
Most of the time.
Most of the time. Who are you?
Billy Hills, studio owner of Apollo Audio.
Studio owner of Apollo Audio. That just comes out that way, doesn't it, all the time? Studio owner. And awesome gig last week, man.
Thank you very much. Got another one coming up on Friday, but we did a bit of a secret set. Not really a secret set, but so yeah, it was really, really good. We had a hardcore night here. Regrets, a great big hardcore band.
Off to France now, I think.
Yeah, I think the lead singer is actually French, but they're doing a few shows in Europe. Newgate News, and it was the other band, Empty Threat, really good. And we had Connor cutting hair in Vermont as well.
Yeah, people getting haircuts.
Yeah. It was all very
I know
cool.
most of the bands had a little bit of a tidy up before they went on, which I thought was cool.
I missed the boat. I've got to go get my haircut from him tomorrow. I've got to pay now. He's doing free haircuts every day.
I didn't realise he was doing free.
Oh, right. But really, really good night. Sold out, and it's brilliant. I love them hardcore nights because it's a real scene that comes to it, and we get a few of the same people each time. And it's really, really good. Really enjoyed it. Already planning the next one.
Good. For me, it seems like absolute madness.
Yeah.
Everybody's so lovely.
Yeah.
Like everybody's really friendly, really nice, really respectful, and all of the fact that I'm doing a job and all that kind of stuff. And then when they start playing, they just start punching the shit out of each other.
There's like specific hardcore dance moves they do, isn't there? And it's all a bit.
It's like do you know that Brazilian? Is it capoeira or something? Brazilian thing. That's actual. It's like a martial art.
Oh yeah.
But it's more like dancing.
Yeah.
And it's a bit like that, except they are sort of they're doing the what do you call them? What's the swing kick called?
Oh yeah.
It's like
all
that sort of,
and they do two-stepping
and punching and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's
a really good night.
All these really polite people, they just suddenly start thrashing their hell.
Just love horrible music.
It's great.
We love horrible music. But it's coming back in a big way. I think the metal's been really good. Bring Me the Horizon, one of the biggest UK bands there, doing a 20th anniversary of their first ever album, Pray for Plagues, which is like guttural, sort of like really, really heavy stuff. And they're sold out. I think they're doing 2 nights at the BEC, which is like the biggest arena in the UK. Yeah, and it's like really, really heavy. So yeah. I think rock and metal's like alive and kicking.
Rock and metal, and I think just bands as well, just generally. It seems to me, especially like, and I love this because it is kids wanting to be in bands. So all the discussion about streaming, killing stuff, and AI and all that. But as far as I can see, I'm not seeing any reduction in people wanting to pick up a guitar.
No.
And get with their mates and start making some noise.
We've had more young bands come in than ever, I think, about the studio, which is really cool to see. And that brings me on to the point I want to have a little rant about, did you see Coachella?
I did not.
So, it looked like
some of the news about it.
Yeah, there's some really cool acts, like Trent Reznor's did a collaboration with that German band. They're called like 9 Inch Noise or something like that. Okay. That looked really cool. The stage show looked incredible.
Oh yeah. No, that was what they build themselves at. Yeah. I did see that. Yeah.
Coachella's very different from UK festivals, isn't it? It's all very clean and posy, isn't it?
It's massively corporate.
Yeah.
Hugely corporate. I mean, the festivals here are fairly corporate, but Coachella is ridiculous.
Yeah, and it all looks too nice for it to be. You can imagine going Reading Festival, everyone's just like dirty and off their face. You don't get that at Coachella. You got to look nice. But I saw
the glam.
Yeah, people just go there for Instagram, but. Justin Bieber headlined one of the days. Yeah. And did you see how he played his set?
Nope.
He had no band or anything like that. Okay. He had his laptop and he was taking requests from the crowd, which I thought was quite cool. Yeah. But he was literally going on lyric videos on YouTube and singing along to his song. I was like, what? I think he's getting paid 10 million to basically do like a karaoke set. And I've read into it a little bit more, and apparently it's because like the publishers have bought his rights or whatever, and technically he can get around it if he plays it off YouTube or something like that.
Okay.
But where's the performance element?
When you say the publishers have bought his rights,
I don't know. It's something like that.
But I feel like I probably want to say, don't we mean he's sold his rights?
Yeah.
To the publishers.
And he's just basically doing a glorified karaoke, like, and he's getting paid all this money.
Yeah.
And that at that point, I know he's got a great voice, whatever, and I don't particularly like his music, but I understand why people like him. But I think if you're doing a big headline show like that, have a band, or at least pretend it's not a backing track. Like, have some. It was just him and a laptop.
I do agree with you, but how do we match that up with Kanye West, who did his set at Glastonbury? That was also him on stage alone to backing tracks.
Yeah, but I think there was also like more like lights and that involved.
Oh,
a bit
it
of stage.
Probably a bigger show.
Yeah,
but principally it's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
I don't know. The mystique of it. Yeah. I suppose.
That's cool. Yeah,
presentation. Presentation. That's my biggest thing. Yeah, I know. I get it. And people of that genre, you do play too long to backing tracks. But like when Charlie XCX does it, at least you've got dancers. You've got a bit of a show around it. Yeah. When you saw 9 Inch Noise, their stage production looked incredible. The amount of dancers, like, look, there's on a spaceship.
So it sounds to me like what Justin Bieber has done is like minimum preparation. Yeah. Maximum benefit.
Yeah, and just take
so I can just show up.
Yeah,
because I can do the singing, but I don't need to think about lights, dancers, presentation, choreography, band, anything like that. I can just literally.
And it's probably gone more viral for that than he would have done if he'd done a big show.
Well, maybe there you are.
It's got us talking about it. Well done, Justin. I've changed my mind.
maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. Yeah, I did see reviews of Sabrina Carpenter was one of the other headliners, wasn't she? I think. Yeah. Well, these festivals are more and more. I mean, they always were, but more and more these festivals are the festival experience, and it's almost like the actual bands playing are secondary. I mean, especially again going back to Glastonbury, no one cares who's playing. They don't announce the bill until they're already sold out. So nobody's going to see a band. They're going to Glastonbury, and then they hope that there's something there they want to see.
Yeah, but at least I think with Glastonbury, it's not like glam. At least you've got that experience of like camping with your mate. Can you even camp at Coachella?
I don't know.
Like, that's the festival experience, I think. Like,
I think you can. Yeah.
And Coachella just seems a bit too glam. Yeah. Just very American California, I think, for my English mind. I suppose.
I think that's pretty. Definitely pretty close. Yeah. That wasn't enough of a rant, by the way. I just want to say, I'm going to go on a rant. No, I need more rant from you in future. Really, if you're going to rant, go for it properly.
Yeah. Sorry, I'll prepare next time.
These are the sorts of things, Russell. These are the sorts of things I get excited about, Billy.
Go on.
Look at that. That's my latest new purchase that I thought was vital.
What is it?
Exactly. Yeah. What is it? He says.
Toilet brush. What is it?
Toilet brush. No, it's a mic clamp for a kick drum.
Oh, that's so exciting, isn't it? That's like me buying strings. I get so excited about it.
Like silly things like that. Just how do I keep this tidy, uncluttered, make sure that it stays in the right place without moving around? So I've got a clip that attaches to it, and I'm quite excited. I'm so excited. I think bigger purchases we should wait and talk about later.
Okay, that'll keep them coming back.
Well, keep coming back to find out news about what our other purchases are. But yeah, it's so silly the stupid conveniences of new strings.
Yeah,
not that exciting, but make a difference.
Yeah, but it's the whole process of putting them on, and I just love that. And it's like, you appreciate what you've got, and like the sound difference. I've went through a whole thing basically. I broke another string at the gig. I'm breaking strings left, right, and centre now. I break it at rehearsal each week. I break another one. I'm a very heavy hitter. We play heavy music. Yeah. But it's costing me an absolute fortune. I've bought unbreakable strings. I managed to break them. It's actually quite impressive, really.
I would be going back to the company.
Yeah. No, but it's such
Excuse me, it says on these.
Yeah, but it's such a convoluted process. Like with Ernie Ball, they got these Paradigm strings. I broke one, and like, I have to go on the website. Do you know when they don't make it obvious where this search pad is? You have to click about 5 different links to get to this bit. Yeah. And then they don't just accept a photo of you broken the string. You've got to send the string back. Wait weeks for them to send a single string back you've broken. Yeah. I'm just going to buy another string. So I know why they've made it lifetime guarantee.
So is that about finding the right gauge, do you think? Is that what's going on?
No, I've been through all of them, but I think I always break them by the bridge. So I bought this thing called the String Saver. I actually used ChatGPT for this, Gemini, Google. I was like, why do I keep breaking strings? I bought these unbreakable strings. I play in this tuning. Yeah. you went, where are you breaking it? Well, I brought this new bridge and this new nuts. They're supposed to be really flexible, designed for heavy tunings, but with new strings that would be good for it. And it's like, wow. I would never thought I'd be asking ChatGPT how I can not break any more strings, but I'm really excited to do that. These are good,
because I think that's good. These are fundamentals, right? These silly things that are tiny but are significant. Like, I don't want to break strings when I'm playing live. So how can I stop breaking strings when I'm playing live? Rather than just like every time I play live, I break a string and I keep complaining about it year after year. Go like, all right, I want to do something about that. Or, thinking about, I mean, I was having a little bit of a joke with one of the bands that were in recording the other day. He started tuning his kit. And you could see other people like around were kind of going, what's he doing there then? Is it tuning the kit? Tuning the kit? Tuning the drum kit? Yeah, you're tuning the drum kit, tuning the drums. Really? It's like madness that you might not think. But I think these fundamentals and some of the things that sometimes it's a matter of time, but don't get into with bands. But there are things that are given as advice or recommendation. Say if you're recording, is that use heavier gauge strings than you would normally play with when you're recording, for example.
Oh, really?
Because you'll potentially you get a cleaner, more direct sound, and you have to sort of play in a little bit more.
Oh, cool.
To get the ring. So it's like new strings.
Of course, I'll be using bass strings if I do that.
But there is new strings before you record is kind of good, but you want to make new strings, but you want to make sure that you play them in.
Yeah.
Tuning up between takes. Yeah. It's obvious, but easy to miss. And those are just silly fundamentals. That are easy to miss. Same with the gigs, I suppose. How long have you been playing these in? Are they damaged? Are they likely to break? Do you have spares? Have you got a backup?
Bring a second guitar.
Have you got a second guitar? If you do break a string, can you pick another one up? Or is that? And if you do break a string, can you carry on? Or if you break a string, is that end of show?
I remember Drown. I broke a string quite early in the song. Yeah. We had a second guitarist, so I knew I could get away with singing for a bit because he was doing the lead guitar part. I remember getting my case, I had a microphone in my hand, still singing, getting the case on top of like this fold back thing in front of me, opening the case, plugging back in, and I managed to get it into the chorus. So like, you only get that from experience. Like, you only do that from the first time you forget, oh my God, I haven't got a second guitar or another string, so I have to just cut the set short. Or next time you do it, you figure out where else to play it on the guitar so you can carry on doing your set. Next time you do it, you have your guitar coming on quickly. Like, you only do it through learning through your mistakes. So it's just experience.
Absolutely. Spare cables. My lead's busted. All right. And then like running around, has anyone got a spare? Has anyone got a spare? Or your power. All these things just worth doing quick checks of before you come through.
I had a band text me last night. I won't name and shame. But they did a gig at the Corn Exchange in Hartford. For some reason, the Corn Exchange never had a supply drum kit, which I find mad. You can get a cheap drum kit that you can just put under the stage or whatever.
Sure.
None of them seem to. There's four bands playing. None of them bought a kick between them.
None of them.
I think all drummers, you should want to bring a kick, surely.
Yeah.
Like, and then there was a high one of me. I was like, lovely, fine. But it's like, just made me like the mind boggles. Like, why would you not want to bring your kit? It's like not bringing a snare. It's not like bringing a guitar with you, I suppose. I don't know.
It does seem a bit weird, but the weird things happen. So that I have had someone show up to a bass player turn up to a recording session without a bass.
What did you do?
Well, I had a bass. Fortunately.
Did you just assume that you'd have one?
I don't know what he assumed. I don't know if he forgot it or assumed. I don't really know. Yeah. But I said, I haven't come with a bass guitar. I think he did think I don't need it, which is
that's mental.
Sort of odd, because I think it's not that, all sorts of weird things happen. I had a band come in once, and the lead guitarist, they were pretty young, it's these things that you learn in experience, blah, blah, blah. But he came in to do some recording, and he came in with an amp that he'd borrowed from someone to do this recording session. And I said, that's a bass amp. No.
Well, had you been playing it for a while? Or was that the first?
No, he'd borrowed it for the recorded session.
Gosh.
So he thought
get a lovely tone.
So at least he thought I need an. At least he thought I know I need an amp.
And
he'd come with one. But being a recordist, as you know, studios we've got stuff here. But I often do get asked that question from bands. So like, should we bring our gear? And I do understand the question.
Yeah.
Do we or don't we? Especially if you've never been in a studio before. most of the time the answer is going to be yes, bring your own gear. And the main reason for that is you know your sound.
Yeah, exactly.
You know that's what you sound like. So I'll say, like, probably you want to capture the sound that you already make. And the quickest way to do that is bring the gear that you make it on. If you don't like that, or if you want to experiment with other sounds, that's different. You know, we try stuff out, and obviously the more time you've got and the more you want to develop, you can start playing with tones and amps and to get what you want. And tuning on snares. I mean, I've had sessions where drummer would show up with 3 snares for 3 different songs. He was even changing his cymbals between songs because he wanted a different cymbal sound between songs. Cool. That's rare, but that's when you get to
it's only you thought about it though.
And it's where you get to the really professional end, right? That's really when this is what I want this to sound like, and I want to take the time to get it right. And I think probably the most important thing I'm saying out of that is, as we've said before, don't fix it later. Capture it how you want it in the first place. That's like, it's not like, oh, I don't like that guitar sound, can we change it later? It's like, no, we shouldn't be doing that. We should be getting it right at source. That's far more important, far more valuable for your time.
Definitely.
Cool. Let's crack on. Because it's anniversary time again.
Yes.
We did this with David Bowie earlier on in the year, and it was one of those years, wasn't it, 2016, when everybody seemed to decide they'd had enough. Yeah. And it's a top 10 album, which we haven't done for a while. This is top 10 in the Rolling Stone 500. We're doing Prince and Purple Rain.
Yes.
Which is number 8 on the Rolling Stone.
Wow. Must be good.
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
It was.
Prince, I think, died end of April 2016.
Oh, that was a shock because he was still quite young, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, Bowie was older, certainly. I think about 20 years older. Yeah, Prince wasn't that old, so it was one of those kind of, what, really?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
He looked well the last time I saw him. I didn't even know he was ill. Or it was that kind of thing. But again, a bit like Bowie, he's one of those cultural characters that are sort of go beyond just the music.
Yeah.
He's, I think, the best use of the word iconic.
Yeah,
in fact, to the point where he actually, for most of his career, he wasn't even called Prince. He had an icon.
The symbol. Yeah.
Symbol.
Not many people can do that, can they?
Yeah. So this is 1984, I think. It's right in my teenage years, Billy. So I could go on about this. But you tell. What about you? What's your experience? Do you know much about Prince?
My experience with Prince, so I missed him as obviously I was born in '96, so everyone knows about Prince, even if I missed his I don't know, when he was massive. Well, he's always been massive. He's massive now.
His imperial phase.
Yeah. But I brought up on his greatest hits. I remember, especially 1999. That just reminds me of my childhood. Yeah. And Red Corvette. I remember hearing them daily as I drove to school, and Dad had that on the car. Yeah. And 1999 is still one of my favourite songs. So I knew the singles really well. I know he did the Batman soundtrack. Yeah. I saw clips of him doing the. He's got this guitar solo that he's done. I think it was it.
Oh, is it Why My Guitar Gently Weeps? Is that
it's the most insane guitar solo. There's 8 world famous guitarists on the stage. And you got Prince that plays a bit of everything. Probably no more for singing, and he just outplays them all. It's he's so good at everything. He's so cool. Yeah. I watched that video a lot. So I obviously knew about Prince. I knew his hit singles, but I'd never listened to a Prince album. I've heard the album in parts before because Charlotte's Family have got this on vinyl. Yeah. I think they put it on before. And it was just one of the ones just on in the background. But what made me, when I listened to this, I listened to it a few different times in different ways. It's one of them albums that I don't think you want to listen to casually because I don't think you appreciate it. I listened to it on a run and it wasn't really sitting there. I listened to it while I was driving, sort of concentrating on other bits. And it's I'm missing so many parts that are so amazing and so good because I'm not really concentrating. I don't think it's a casual album. I think the hits are. I think you can listen to Purple Rain anytime and When Doves Cry and the other ones. But I just think it's an album that deserves to be sat down, put a vinyl on, and just take it in because I was missing bits. Because the first time I was listening, I was it's not really anything special. Yeah. And then doing it because it was quite an easy album to listen to because there's only 8 tracks, wasn't it? Yes. And half that's probably Purple Rain because the ending is quite long.
It's 8 minutes of it, isn't it? Yeah.
And it's the ending of Purple Rain. It's just so at the end when he thinks the song's done, it changes key slightly. Yeah. And it's if you're just listening to that casually, you're going to miss stuff like that. So I think it's an album that has had a lot of time put into it, and you should give that time back to give it a proper listen because I think in this day and age where everything is just streaming and you can skip tracks quite easily, I don't think, and I'm guilty of this of probably other albums we've done. I was like, I don't really like it, and I'm listening to it on runs or in the car, but because it had so much like weight behind this album, it's a top 10 album ever. I was like, I've got to sort of sit down and listen to this a bit more and give over my ear, and I did like. It's not one of them ones where they're like, oh my god, it's amazing, it's my favourite album ever. It's a very, very good album, but I think I gave it more time because I think I knew it deserved it, and I enjoyed it more in that aspect.
Yeah. What stood out for you?
I think Dear Nikki. Is it Dear Nikki?
Darling Nikki.
Darling Nikki. I think it's just a fun track. It's really cool. And I noticed a few, like the drum sound is just so iconic, like from that era and time as well.
That Lynn drum, electronic drum sound, I think is one of the sort of big crossover sounds, I suppose. Yeah. And I noticed that there's a rhythm that he uses, or that they use on this album, that kind of crosses multiple tracks.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
That sort of same rhythm, same sound. We were talking about earlier on about tuning drums. I think that's one of the first times I really heard about that sort of concept of pitching the snare to the key of the song. Was that had been something that Prince was very keen to do, and he'd been I think he got one of the original sort of, not prototype but early versions of the Lynn drum, and that was him sort of going, this is fun, and just playing around with the sound that was like comes with it, and going, what happens if you change it?
Did you play everything on it?
This album, I mean, think you said it earlier. Prince is kind of known as one of those people who can do everything, and in a lot of cases he did do everything. And I think largely up to this album, a lot of it was him. This is a big crossover for him. People knew who Prince. This is the first time I ever heard of Prince. I don't think I'd ever heard of Prince before this album came out. But when it did, my memory is, and it may be a false memory, but I think I remember hearing When Doves Cry when I was doing my paper round, and I had a little radio that I used to like carry around with like an earpiece that I'd play stuff, because this is pre-Walkman night. I just had a little radio, and I think I heard When Doves Cry like riding around on my bike doing a paper round and thinking, what is this? I've never heard anything like this before.
How many albums had he had before this?
4, I think.
Yeah. Was he big in the US?
Yeah, I think people like more so, but this was his this was a massive breakthrough. I think this is one where he said, I want to have a commercial breakthrough album. What do I do? And he did, and he like.
Was he more commercial on this one? Like, what was he sound before?
I've seen this described in the stuff I was looking at when we were going to do this album as his big pop crossover. But I was listening to it this time thinking, I think this is a really rock album. I don't think
it's poppy. It's commercial, but I don't think it's pop.
No, pop I don't think was the right description. And as far as my experience of Prince's music is concerned, I don't think he's ever got as rock as this before or since. Like the prominence of the guitar solos and the rock band sound of it.
Yeah. Well, pop is what's popular at the time, and I suppose that was pop back then, wasn't it?
So, and these were big hits. I think like When Doves Cry was a #1 single in the US.
That's been covered so many times.
I think one of the other ones as well. To come back to your point, this is very much a Prince and the Revolution album. It's not credited as Prince, so it's Prince and the Revolution. The Revolution are a band.
Yeah.
And they did tour as Prince and the Revolution existed separately from Prince as well as a band. So there are things that is credited to the Revolution.
Yeah.
But as I was reading up about this is, very much a collaborative. He definitely used... And I think this is a message as well I wanted to kind of get across, that even for Prince, who's someone as well known as someone who can do everything himself, that did not stop him thinking, but I want people to work with. I'm going to work with people. I'm going to get the best musicians. I'm going to build a band. I'm going to do... And I think at least 3 of the tracks on this album were actually recorded live with overdubs.
Wow.
But they literally went to a live stage. Not with an audience, but they played them, like went to a venue, played them, on stage, and that's what the recording is. And then he did some overdubs on top of that as well. So when you think of that, those songs, you think they're a tight band. They know what they're doing. And
sometimes you can't.
Of course, there's post-production. Of course, there's overdubs. But it's still like, no, that's live. That's them doing it.
Well, same with Rage Against the Machine. When they did their first album, they did it live. It captures that energy, and you're going to do overdubs. But sometimes, like when you record it, when you punched in, like the first Body stuff we did, I was like, I wish we did more of it live, because we just capture that energy rather than worrying about. I remember you was doing the drums with Aaron. It's like, rather than worrying about where the slowdown is, we have to get the exact right BPM. It's a nightmare. Let's just do it live in a room, because that's how. Look, and then over the dub the bits we can do. So some bands need it, and it sounds better in the long run. I was also took away from this. I love the fact it's 9 tracks. You don't need to reach the magic double digit. You've got your 9 bangers.
Yeah.
And it's long enough to be an album. Don't add any fillers. All killer.
The vinyl construct, I think we've talked about this before, that's sort of a sweet spot for an album, I think. There's something about the fact that vinyl is restricted in how long it can be, really.
Yeah.
Once you push back past about 45 minutes, just technically you start to struggle.
Yeah.
Because it starts to compromise the way that they make the vinyl. It just can't take more audio than that physically. And that always just seemed to be perfect for me. And I know I grew up with it, but it just, something about that sort of length, around about that 45 minute length, is great. And as you said, I don't think it matters how many tracks it is. And I know some of the greatest albums, certainly the albums I grew up with, the ones that I love, they didn't have 15 tracks on them. They weren't double albums. You weren't sitting for over an hour. They were, like you said, typically 8, 9, 10 tracks. Something like that, and they're about 40 minutes, 20 minutes aside.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah. Because imagine you get to, even if you love an album, imagine you have to get in, because imagine you did 2 more tracks and you've got to get another vinyl out. It's like, you're probably not going to listen to that extra vinyl as much, because it's another process of getting it out and turning it over. So, yeah, I agree. I think that
I can even give you an example on Prince. Sign of the Times, which is the album that came out, it was 3 albums after this, bizarrely.
Yeah.
Because he did Around the World in a Day, then Parade, and then Sign of the Times, which is another sort of big Prince album. That's a double album. And exactly to your point, I rarely play the second album of that. I played the first one quite a lot. Second one, not so much. Because just got, that's enough. I've had enough of this now.
You've already had an hour.
Yeah, kind of. I've had enough now. You know, have you ever seen the movie Purple Rain?
No, didn't know there was one.
Well, this is actually, I mean, it's kind of weird because you could almost, is it then a concept album or is it a soundtrack album? And it's sort of neither of those.
Is it about him?
And it's also both of them. So this is, all the songs from this are from the movie Purple Rain, which exists. And actually, it's a pretty good movie. And I think I might have seen the movie before I heard the album.
Is Prince in it?
Yeah, he plays the lead character called The Kid.
Yeah.
He's one of only 2 characters in the movie who their character name is not the same as their actual name.
Oh, really? Yeah.
But it's Prince and the Revolution, and Morris Day and the Time, and his girlfriend is played by a girl called Apollonia.
Yeah.
And there is a story basically about Prince is the kid. It's like there's a venue that has floor spots, and I think there are 3 floor spots, and there's 2 bands that have got to them, and Prince and his band are trying to get the 3rd spot.
Yeah.
But the guy who runs the show doesn't like him, so he won't book him.
Oh.
And the subplot is that the girls in the band, Wendy and Lisa, who are in the Revolution, they've been writing songs, but they can't get Prince to, the kid, as he plays in the movie. He won't use any of their songs. He just wants to use his own ones. So they're trying to convince him to play. So that's all that going on.
Yeah.
Plus conflict with his dad and conflict with his girlfriend and all that bit. But the main thrust of the story is, how do I get my band into this final floor spot in this regular gig? Yeah. And the twist is when he finally kind of comes to his senses, I suppose, and goes, I've one of these Wendy and Lisa songs. I'll take that and we'll do something with that. And that's the big breakthrough.
Yeah. Is it Purple Rain?
I think it is.
Don't you see it now?
I think it is Purple Rain.
Yeah.
And that's the story of it. And it's a pretty highly regarded movie as well. Yeah. And again, it's not a long film.
No.
And it's mainly performance stuff. There's a bit of story, but there's a lot of them on stage. And one of the things I remember loving about it is those bands like that, Morris Day and the Time, a lot of their stage stuff is choreographed, so it's great. Like visually, they look great as well. And the songs are pretty cool. I think even Morris Day and the Time, I think all those songs were written by Prince as well.
Yeah.
But so there's some of those songs, but the core of it is Purple Rain, the album. That's the soundtrack.
I do miss, sorry, a slight side point, I do miss the fact that, like, when a film came out, you had a whole, like, and it's the streaming age probably killed it, like, I'm going to use Shrek as an example. And I had Spider-Man. One of the first CDs I ever had was a Spider-Man 1 soundtrack. It was Nickelback or Chad Kroeger had a hero off it.
Yes.
And Spider-Man 2, I bought that because they had great tracks. Shrek was a massive one.
We've got to get Shrek in.
Do you know what? I'm absolutely gutted I'm gigging this Friday because there's a band called the Ogre-Tones playing the Corn Exchange and they're doing the whole Shrek soundtrack.
The Ogre-Tones, that's cool.
It's great. Because I saw it first of all and I was like, Tones? Is it a Deftones cover band? I've got to go see them. And Connor, who cut hair, here at the studio. He dressed up as one of the Ugly Stepsisters last time because apparently everyone dresses up to go to the gig. It's
nice.
And I was like, that's such a great idea, and it sort of like brings it all together.
Yeah.
And you just have video games come out with it. Basically, everything was better 20 years ago. I just miss it now.
Just everything was better. Yeah. Well, this is 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And I said I kind of remember this. And When Doves Cry, such a different sound. It's one of those songs they famously always talking about the fact it's got no bass on it, which is still sort of considered unusual. And that was a deliberate part deliberate, I think, depending on who you listen to.
Would that accidentally mute it?
Yeah, and I think that's one of the stories is that he did sort of mute it and go, actually, this sounds better.
Really? That's so cool.
Yeah, so there was bass on it.
Less is more.
It wasn't written without bass. That is definitely true. There was a bass line for this, but they decided not to go with it.
That's a bit of advice that my mate gave me once. It's like, you don't always have to be playing. I think, like, if you think you're a musician, like, I must be playing. Like, less is more sometimes.
Oh, yeah, the space between the notes is just as important as the notes.
We do it a lot in bodies. Like, I'm quite happy not playing. Maybe it's laziness. Yeah. But I tell Harry not to play in parts or whatever. Like, it's because when you bring it in, it's another dynamic. You can be playing the same thing, but it sounds like another element when you bring something of a different instrument in.
Exactly. That's how you create the dynamics. That's how you create the drops, right? Yeah. That's like all those things are just because like something's been out and something's going to come back in again, and that's where you get the impact. And I think that's really good advice. And I'd say that again, dynamics within songs, what's not playing when, what comes back in. Good parts can be good by themselves, but don't work within the. Sometimes there's a great phrase. I can't remember who came up with it. Sometimes you have to kill your darlings, I think
that was me.
Is the phrase. Is that you?
That was me,
I thought it was you. Yeah. I knew it was famous for a reason.
Yeah.
But is that, I love that bit, but I'm going to have to lose it because it doesn't really contribute. It's by itself, it's brilliant, but it's not contributing.
We had that one on our latest songs, we had a great section, but it's like, it doesn't really fit the song. It sounds great. Let's save it for another song. We had a bit of a band discussion / argument about it. And it sounds really cool, but it's like, does it serve the song? And that's always my biggest thing. Like, you've got to serve the song. It sounds really cool because we was debating bringing back another section. Like, we can have that there, but the chorus there, because Luke brought in some new vocals. I was like, let's extend the chorus.
Yeah.
Because it was quite short anyway. And it's like, then we bring the other back in. Now we don't need that other section. I know it sounds really cool.
Yeah.
But we don't need it anymore. Yeah. Let's change the key and put it in another song. It's hard.
It is hard, but I think it's so important to have the courage to do that. So we don't need that bit. Let's not, like you said, let's not play through this bit. Let's cut that section. That's brave, but it's vital. I think to be able to do that.
It's collaboration as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I listened back to this again for the first time in a very long time, and I've got it on vinyl. I bought it when it came out. Okay. I listened to the remastered version on headphones, and it was one of those that I went, I've never heard it like this before.
Yeah, I
heard a lot more going on.
I had a bit of a weird experience when I first listened to it on headphones, because it just wasn't... When I listened to it more stereo... I enjoyed it more.
Yeah.
Like when it was just I had my headphones on, I was like, I don't know if I'm hearing it properly or my headphones out. Like it sounded a bit weird. I didn't enjoy it as much in headphones than I did it out like coming out of speakers.
I think again, it's one of those interesting things of over time is how this would never have been mixed to be listened on headphones. That wasn't its intention. So it wouldn't have had any. They wouldn't even have done, things that we do nowadays, which is reference checks, translation checks. Have a listen. I've listened to it on the main monitors in the studio. Does it still work in the car? Does it still work on headphones? So you do those translation checks.
Yeah.
1984, they're not doing that, really.
No.
Not really. They're like, no, people are going to listen to this on their hi-fi in their living room. I'm probably going to go back and listen to it on my vinyl record player. So I listened to the remastered version on my headphones. I thought, I've never heard it. There were things in it that I hadn't really properly heard before.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised by how rocky it was, how much it's driven by the guitars. There's a lot of synths, there's a lot of string, there's a lot of sample, there's a lot of all that kind of 80s sound going on, that Lindrum sound, very, what I would consider very Prince sound going on in it. But I was kind of, oh no, this is him full on rocking it out on the guitar. And he is an incredible guitar player.
Yeah, just a musician in general.
An amazing musician.
But just give it, it's not that it's not instant and it's really prog, but I think it's an expensive album in a sense, like, it's cool, give it time.
I think you can see why it's top 10. I kind of get it, because it's really
iconic.
It's brilliantly written, it's brilliantly played, it's well produced, But as you said, it's iconic. It's a cultural touchstone. It's very much a moment in time that's sort of unforgotten. It established Prince as as the artist that everybody became to know him as. That was the one who went, oh yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
The iconic imagery, the haircut, the purple clothes, the whole thing of it is. It's almost like, although Prince went through many images, it's still one of the definitive images of him.
Yeah, that's what you see him as.
Is from that era.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I get it. Definitely worth it. I've already got it, so I don't even need to ask the question, does it vinyl? I know it does.
Yeah.
I definitely know it does. Just on a final point on that thing, Darling Nikki you mentioned. You know the parental advisory stickers that you get on albums and things. Have you seen those?
Yeah.
That's
I'm not that young.
Well, that's where this started.
No way.
Yeah, but one of the major contributors to that being a thing is because of this album and because of Darling Nikki. Because I think it was Tipper Gore, the wife of an American politician.
Yeah.
And I think she'd heard her daughter playing this album, or one of her kids anyway, and heard Darling Nikki and went, whoa, what?
Yeah.
And so they decided it was necessary to have a parental advisory sticker on albums to warn parents about some of the content on the albums. And this album and that song in particular is why we have parental advisory stickers on records.
Was there any particular albums that you weren't allowed to listen to?
No, I think culturally in the UK we're a bit more loose than they are in America, especially in the 80s. But I was happily playing Darling Nikki in my bedroom, singing along to it, and nobody came and stopped me.
No. I was less of that. I had the Limp Bizkit, and it had 52 F words in the second track of the song. Yeah. So I wasn't allowed to use that track.
That feels like that. I don't think there wasn't that much of that. That came later. I don't think there was as to the extent, maybe I'm wrong.
Swearing.
I don't think there was as much swearing on records. I think that came later. I think that cultural crossover came around a bit more with rap and hip hop, and the fact that there would be more of that in it, and that certainly reinforced those ideas of the lyrical content of this album is concerning to parents.
Yeah,
I don't remember hearing records when I was growing up that had swearing in them or needed to be censored for radio or anything like that. I think that was pretty rare.
Yeah.
They either played them or they didn't. Like Relax, Frank Goes to Hollywood, was banned because of it wasn't because it had any rude words in it, it's just because the whole thing was considered to be, hold on, they're talking about sex.
Really?
So we can't have that on the radio.
That's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah. I love this album. I hadn't heard it for years. It was good to come back to it. Completely get it. If you haven't heard it, I'd check it out, definitely. And the film also, as I said, decent movie, not long. So
ticks all the boxes for me.
Yeah, it doesn't take a lot of effort, and it's kind of worth it. Especially, and this happened, and I'm saying this partly because I know it was only about a year ago. A friend of mine said she'd never heard Prince before, and her first experience of Prince was Purple Rain. She went, "My God, this is amazing!" And she was in her 30s, I think. She said, "This is amazing."
Yeah,
I was like, "Yeah, he's pretty good." But having said that, I think a lot of his later work, I don't get it. Just got a little.
I only really know this album and the greatest hits.
Again, Imperial Phase, this album, Sign of the Times, Parade, maybe Diamonds and Pearls. That sort of 4 albums in sort of 80s into early 90s. Yeah. I would say definitely that's a period of Prince. That's the greatest hits period as well, sort of thing. That's the bit that's easy to listen to. A lot of his later stuff does get more into less commercial, still good, very competent, but much less kind
self-indulgent.
Just hits that you can listen to. Yeah, self-indulgent maybe. But yeah, I don't know. Not for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely a set period, 80s, 90s, when you pick up a Prince album or a Prince track and you're going to go, yeah, this is good. Thanks, Billy.
Thank you, Martin.
We'll be back again with another album that we haven't decided on yet on the Apollo Audio Podcast. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening. You can find us on Instagram at Apollo Audio Podcast. You can write to us on email at apolloaudiopodcast@gmail.com. And as always, more importantly, if you are a musician, if you're interested in music, if you want to learn how to play, if you want to perform, if you want to record, at apollo-audio.co.uk is the website where you find all the details.
Yes.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.